All right, everybody. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. Everybody, I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Welcome to the first official edition of Throwback Thursday. We didn't do it last Thursday. We are doing it this Thursday as we slide into the weekend. I hope you're having a beautiful day, a productive day, an empowering day. And I just want to give some shout outs to some family members. I want to give a shout out to Miss Eleanor, who's doing tremendous work, working with my mom. So I know they're working on each other's nerves. No, I'm just kidding. Good to see the team back together again. Also, a special shout out to the Pollard family. I'll be reaching out to make sure you're doing okay as well. All right, brothers and sisters, listen. A couple things I just want to say. Listen, this is I love the comments that people have been saying about the show. Thank you so much, and tell people about the show as well. We're going to be moving in, as you know. I'm going to be announcing our first Saturday Spotlight person next week. I'm going to let you know it is. I am extremely excited to have this brother on. I can't tell you it is, but you're going to see some of his work starting October the 26th, and I'll tell you exactly what that show is tomorrow. So listen, today's subject, brothers and sisters, is remembering when we could fix our problems. When I say remember we could fix our problems, I'm not just saying personal problems. I'm not just basically being able to repair things. I just realized something that I may be, and maybe you are, part of the last generation of people who could actually fix things. Now, I don't mean computers and stuff like that. I mean hands-on things. The last thing I really tried to fix, like on an automobile, I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to replace the thermostat. It didn't work out, and I wound up totaling the car. Sometimes it happens. And here's another thing. If you're gonna look at YouTube videos about how to fix things, make sure the videos go all the way through and the time doesn't jump, because that's what happened to me. He said, all right, take this off, and then it flipped over, and there you go, you finished. I was like, oh, hell no. That happened to me. Now, the reason I'm saying that, brothers and sisters, is because, first of all, it's an aptitude to fix things. Every man should have a toolbox in his house. And if, ladies, if you marry a man and he does not have a toolbox in his house, you have issues. You have some long bills. And I'll be honest, brothers. There's certain things I don't do now that I'm older. Like I don't cut grass because I have allergies. I hire my friend, mi hermano, Jose. Jose comes and cuts the grass, and I give Jose a check. And I'm sure he's looking at me like, you know what? You probably could cut that grass. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to. Enjoy it. Talk to you soon. So outside of that space, brothers and sisters, I began to move into this soliloquy. I realized that we are a generation, particularly my generation, and the generations that have come behind, we become a generation that doesn't know how to fix things. Let me say that. Don't know how to fix things. Now, when we're talking about household issues and things like that, I realized the reason why a lot of folks, particularly young kids now, don't know how to fix things is simply because we don't make anything. We don't make anything. We import things. There's not that space where you go into a factory anymore like you used to do, and you could have a whole family work in a factory, building things, assembling things. We don't have that anymore. You know, I myself, as a comedian, I don't make anything. I provide services. There's a big difference between manufacturing goods and providing a service. I provide a service. Now, okay, it still comes in the space of journalism and writing and media, which was, of course, a different animal 20 years ago. But now, brothers and sisters, we are in a space that people don't necessarily even provide media. They provide a service that's absent of some of the same things I just said here before, which is the ability to fix things. Now, what I'm going to do after the break, when we come, we're going to kind of break some things down. I want people to kind of get in your head a little bit, let the picture get wavy, and start thinking of people in your neighborhood who, while they may have had a job as a civil servant or something like that, on the weekends, they demonstrated to you that they could fix something or they could fix a lot of things. You'd be surprised how many, back in the day, you'd be surprised how many of us went to our neighbors to fix things in our house. Now, of course, I'm going way back. This is a little bit of renaissance, but it's important for us to know. And I'm saying this because I believe in some regards we need to move back. Now, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is Throwback Thursday. Remember when we could fix our problems? We'll be right back. Shout Out Show, Preacher Moss. Let's get rolling. All right, we're back. Before we get started, brothers and sisters, let me give you a breakdown. We have had some new visitors come to the Shout Out Show, had some new subscribers. If you are a first-time visitor to the Shout Out Show, for number one, thank you for coming. Number two, we want you to feel welcome. The way you do that is jump in the comment section, tell us who you are, what you're about. If you have something you want to share about the subject, jump on in. This is a part of getting a shout out. Because if I know who you are, we want to make sure everybody knows who you are. And I have no problem giving you a shout out. Acknowledgement. That's what we call it. A little bit of an acknowledgement. We call it the shout out. All right. And I also want to make sure that I identify all the beautiful people that make the show. Like I said, I may be the host, but the people that make the show, the shout out show, are the people who come into the comment sections. And there's a core group of dedicated people, loyal people who come to the show. And I've named them affectionately the Shout Out Show family or the Shout Out Show soldiers who come here on a regular, tune in, even when we take a hiatus, tune in to check out the show. And again, that's who's made the show. And I want people to know that when I call people out and I talk, it's because over a year and a half now, we develop relationships where you can call somebody and make sure they're doing all right. Because again, in the end, this is a platform about people getting together. So without further ado, let's bring up our first person. Who we got? We got Sister Ree. Sister Ree is our craft services person, dietitian specialist, making sure that the food for yours truly is scrumptious and healthy. And she has been a longtime friend and supporter of the Shout Out Show from the beginning. Much peace to you, Sister Ree. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Peace and blessings to you, Derek, and Juan. Next up, that's Sister Naima Griffin coming all the way from the D. What's going on, Sister Naima? Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. We appreciate you. I know it's cold up there, getting cold up there in Detroit, because it gets cold in Detroit in July. But thank you so much for coming to the show. Appreciate you. Keep coming back. Thank you again. Next up, we got Mary Moss, who was in the doghouse. Mary Moss, of course, is the mother of yours truly, Preacher Moss. Sister Mary did not call her son. It was in the doghouse, and she had to get some work done around the house. I hope that all worked out with Brother Sam. Big salams to you, Brother Sam, our plumber, family plumber. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Mama Son. Appreciate you. Assalamu alaikum to you. All right, next up, Sister Ika coming all the way from Depok, Indonesia. Not anywhere else, not Jakarta, but Depok, Indonesia coming in. Got the wise going out for you and your daughter. Hope everything's well and you get healthy. May Allah give you shifa. Next up, we got our main man, Altaf Rashid, better known as the Canadian ambassador to the show. How many live stream shows has their own ambassador, international ambassador? We do, brothers and sisters. We got Brother Altaf on the Canadian side of the border, making sure the quality of the show is good on this side and that side. I call him Mr. 6 o'clock, always on time. Altaf Rashid, thank you so much, brother, for coming on the show. Peace and blessings. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Always on time, my little brother Johnny L. Thomas. But JT to me, Johnny L. Thomas to you, but JT to me. What's going on, little brother? Appreciate you, man. And I think I called you. I got to call you back. I'm not sure, but I hope everything's going well. We need to have a quick discussion when you get a chance. Peace and blessings, of course, to you, Jordan, Yolanda, Aunt Mamie, Aunt Maisie, all of the family, man. Big blessings out to all of y'all. All right. And Justin. And how can we forget our consultant producer, Sister Sultana, of which none of this would be possible because she's freed me up, brothers and sisters. It's been a process where it's a democratization from the broadcast platform that we use called StreamYard. And we made a decision that this is supposed to look like TV, and we're gonna make sure that the quality is representative of what we're trying to give you. We're gonna give you guys the best product that we can. And Sister Satana has been an integral part of it. Thank you so much, Sister Satana. And how can we get our UK renegade, our UK outlaw, my dear Sister Rabina Chowdhury Khan? How are you, sister? And we pray that you're doing well and you're blessed. And please give out salams to your family. When you see people over there, I know a lot of people over in the UK, you shout them out and tell them Preacher Mars sends them salams. All right? And watch your health. I heard that COVID is on the rise over there, so watch your health, okay? Next up, I think that's it. Well, let's get to our topic, brothers and sisters. Now, this thing about remembering we can fix our problems, I'm going to take a leap of faith here. In my neighborhood, when I was growing up, there were men, my father, my neighbors, there were men who had full-time jobs during the day. And they had full-time jobs during the day, but on the weekend, they did something that was called housework. And the idea of housework is you would go around your house, clean your house, make repairs, and it was, everyone would do it. You could look down the street and you could hear lawnmowers or people washing cars and things like that. This was the functionality of a Saturday morning, brothers and sisters, that everybody got up on Saturday morning because most people went to church on Sunday. You got up on Saturday morning and you did some work that was conducive to the functionality of your house or the functionality of your family, not necessarily connected to your job. So the Saturday was housework. The Saturday was raking leaves. The Saturday was fixing things. Now, I said Saturday was a special day, and I'm going to tell you why. Because back in the day, you had men who multitask. When I say multitask, meaning that, yes, they had their jobs during the day. But when I said they did housework, it means that they had the capacity to fix things around their house. Fixing gutters, fixing fences, fixing lawnmowers. And this is important because back then, brothers and sisters, you didn't have all these service organizations. When you had to take something into Sears or Sears and Roebuck or something like that, that product had to be broken. Now, a lot of people didn't have the warranties that they have now. You couldn't go to the internet to fix it. You had to count on the crude knowledge of people in your neighborhood to help something get fixed. Now, in my neighborhood, we had people who could fix stuff. If it was a car, we had a man across the street. His name was Mr. Francis. If it was some kind of housework, if you needed a deck, your sump pump wasn't right, you needed plumbing, we had a man. He's still there. His name is Mr. Austin. Very good friend of mine. And even across the street from, if you needed music lessons, you had Mr. Alexander across the street, and he would teach you music. What am I saying, brothers and sisters? I'm saying that this is a generation of men and women who learn how to fix things. And it's a very rare skill to know how to fix things. So number one, to acknowledge that something is broken, but number two, to acknowledge that I'm going to give a particular type of effort to correct the situation is probably why we have so many problems today. People don't know how to fix things. What they do is they know how to blame people for what's broken. They don't know how to fix things, but they do know how to blame things for something that's broken. You know, back in the day, and my father and I were talking about this, you know, there's now an assault on the PTA. There's an assault on the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association, and everybody's school had a PTA. Why did the PTA work? Because you had like-minded individuals who said, if there's a problem in the school, let's figure out how to fix it. And the local school system or the local school will work with the parents, understanding that the nomenclature of success was tied into how the parents, brothers and sisters, saw success amongst their children. Reading, writing, arithmetic, and all those things mattered, but it was also about the environment. Because teachers realized early on, not so much today, they realized early on that the environments of the home are extremely conducive to learning, to children having success, to children having confidence and self-esteem around education. It was a fix. You've heard me rant and rave about my sixth grade teacher, Miss Elvita Jones. Why do I do that? Because Miss Elvita Jones, out of all my teachers, brother and sister, out of all my teachers, was one of the first ones to pick up the phone and call my mom. This was out of a parent-teacher conference. She picked up the phone and called my mom and said, "This is what I think would be best for him, and can we talk about it?" Now, this even goes beyond being able to fix our problems. She was able to foresee and avoid problems. Even now, brothers and sisters, when you start talking about, and we laugh these days, we laugh because we look at folks who work on a car and they got grease all over their hands and their face, and we laugh thinking it's menial work. It's not menial work. It's skilled work. It's skilled work. I have a cousin. His name is Jason Bethel. Jason runs a lawn care service, a chauffeur service, a limo service, and a car wash. And the beautiful thing about it is he learned from the dirt that, hey, if I can model these things appropriately, guess what? I can make a living. And he's made a living for the last 25 years. Now, I think about this, brothers and sisters, because we have all these things around us that affect us because essentially people don't know how to fix our problems. Think about it. The factories are not the factories anymore. Even though we have Amazons popping up over, what are Amazons really? Amazon does not, brothers and sisters, build anything. They take product and they ship product in and out, in and out. The person that works in Amazon that helps with the packaging and pulling orders is an assembler. There used to be people, brothers and sisters, I hope I don't scare you, especially in Detroit. Sorry, Sister Nima. There were people at one point in time that would build cars. Oh, my God. They would build cars. They would take instrumentation, and that's the drill. And they would put stuff together. Even me, brothers and sisters, I had a car. I ain't gonna lie. It was a Grand Prix. It was a Pontiac Grand Prix. I drove that car to death. You know why I love that car, brothers and sisters? Let me tell you why. I love that car because I learned how to change the oil and change my brakes. Now, the first time I did the brakes, I ain't gonna lie, I did it wrong. It took like 13 hours to change brakes. Don't do that. Call somebody. But to change the oil and the filter and the thermostat, it was so empowering, brothers and sisters, that I went to the auction and bought a car. And with my friend Aubrey, big shout out to Aubrey Skinner, we rebuilt that car, got it through inspection. It's one of the best investments of $1,300 I ever had. And I owe it to Aubrey because Aubrey said, man, we could make a car. Every West Indian thinks they can make something. We can make a car. We're going to make a plane. We're going to make a boat. We went to this junkyard called Crazy Ray's Junkyard in Baltimore in the blazing sun to find an arm to put on this car and get it through inspection. I'm going to tell you guys something. When it got through inspection, that was probably one of the most gratifying feelings I've had. It's interesting. Every guy here knows that when you're in your house and something breaks, there's a certain arrogance that you enjoy, a certain pride when something breaks and you go, wait a minute. Let me go get my toolbox. Men love tools. JT's dad, Mr. Thomas, good friend of mine. I met Mr. Thomas when my freshman year, and I stayed at the YMCA in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, down on Wisconsin Avenue. He was building engineer. And I used to marvel at Mr. Thomas because whatever broke in that place, he knew how to fix. Literally, he could fix everything. And it was fascinating. I would watch him as a freshman just fix stuff. And he would show me how to fix other things. And it wasn't like I wanted to be an engineer. I didn't want to be in maintenance. I just loved the knowledge that I didn't have to call somebody to fix something. Now, where we are today, brothers and sisters, is interesting. Let me check my time. Where we are today, brothers and sisters, is at this point, whereby I think we need a renaissance in terms of learning how to fix things in the space of being self-sufficient. When you have a problem now, you have people that you're supposed to call. And just like bad medicine, people give you medicine not to cure you, not to cure your illness. They give you medicine to what? Cure your symptoms. So these days, when you're watching so many things, I see the frustration fill out of people who, in some regards, can't fix their problems personal wise. I'm talking about societal problems now. They can't fix it because they haven't learned the fiduciary responsibility of looking around and maintaining something. Maintaining something. If you ever get a chance, brothers, just go to a laboratorium and just look at the plants. Nobody really knows how much effort goes into these plants and these trees and da da da. And I had the opportunity to do that a couple of years back, and it was just amazing the effort. And they had a person there who literally knew how to fix the plants. But all these plants. I mean, of course, this person had a master's, a doctorate, or whatever. But it was just amazing that this person knew all the specific information to make sure that all these plants were living their best life. Now, as I flip it around, and I'm going to flip it around, I want to make sure that everyone else has a chance. Satana, come on in. Assalamu alaikum, Satana.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you doing? And how is everyone doing today?
I'm blessed. How do you remember people in your neighborhood that knew how to fix stuff?
Well, we were, it's my parents and there were, 8 of us, right? So of course my father had his toolbox, and I believe he still has that red toolbox. So you do remember, that engineering going on at home, like things were fixed. Okay, if this is broken, this is how we fix it. This is how we, with kids, we break up everything, right? So you have to know how to fix things, right? So, but I want to bring up a couple of things. So one, I think that this weekend warrior, the weekend warrior is more like going to IKEA. That's like the nearest we have to building something, right? A lot of it's prefab. A lot of it's prefab.
Again,
right?
Meet that one.
Right? IKEA is like the closest thing to weekend warrior. You have everyone like, okay, we're gonna mount up and we're gonna go to IKEA. We're gonna get this, and a lot of it's prefab, but that's the closest thing that people are doing now to building on their own, right? And so I think that's what that was probably meant for. And then I think another thing is kind of economy of scales. Like, it's like, think about it. Like, I know my grandmothers, both of them were both domestic engineers. And so at that time, that was probably a premium service to have someone to come in and to clean your house. Now you can get that for free. So it's like, so people are looking at the time versus cost, right? And so they're saying, okay, I can spend money to actually, clean the house, to do this. And then you have industries like Angie's List, and I think Angie's List, I think is one of yeah. And you can find. So I think you have to kind of look at that as well. And then another thing is chips. So a lot of the cars now, right? You can't find parts because a lot of them are chips. They're chips that you actually cannot fit. You have to. They force you to go into these dealerships to get. And now we're seeing right now that the chips are not. They don't have the chips now, right? Because of what's going on with COVID, and just because of the whole process, right? The whole process of supply chain process, exactly. So there are some.
Go ahead.
Sure.
We're on a really big thing about weekend warrior is going to IKEA. Is this also part and parcel of the fact that the whole idea of do it yourself is so commercialized?
Do it yourself is DIY. DIY, as they say. DIY is very commercialized. Exactly.
DIY, your house is down. You can rehab your whole house.
Absolutely.
They take it from this to this. But I also think, and I think you touched on this, and I'm gonna let you go on this one. I think back then you had more time. like you had more time. Like I'm talking about Mr. Austin and Mr. Francis used to fix his car, work on the car. He worked on the car every weekend. I'm like, his car
Mm.
ever fixed. Um, but my point is, you did have more time. We had more time as kids. We weren't in front of TVs. We were running around. We were,
And
and
we're
so
doing 3 and 4 and 5 different sports and different events. It's
yeah,
like, okay, you have to, like, go from this event to this event to this event, and then it's like, okay, and then if the parents have more than one child, it's like, okay, the one kid could be at one end of town to the other end of town, and then that's the time right there. So, I think that might have changed during COVID when a lot of things, kinda settled down and we had to be in quarantine. So, I think a lot of people got back to family, and I think they also got back into really kind of fixing up things, right? And the whole,
yeah.
yeah, do it
Like
yourself.
I haven't gotten to the phase where I say, "Hey, this is my DIY project."
Hmm.
Like I'm going to do X, Y, and D. I'm going to build these cabinets.
Mm.
I'm going I'm going to scrape the cabinets down and I'm gonna repaint them. I
Yeah,
remember people used to be spraying down or they strip down a chair or wood chair and then they put lacquer on it. It's like that's not there anymore. It's like there's so many distractions away from that. I think we
yeah,
watch people
yeah,
fix stuff than we actually fix it around.
yeah,
It's like network how you fix stuff.
yeah. I remember my grandfather in his backyard, my grandparents' backyard. He built this cinder block barbecue, and that thing stood the test of time, like through generation. Like, it's like it, and it. I mean, they don't have the, my parents are no longer there, but that cinder block barbecue was there forever, and it also was kind of a centerpiece of, like, we were in their backyard and the whole family was there. And so but you saw that, the um
But it's
this is
built
something that
though.
was built, and it was this proud, this proudness. We have a couple of comments I want to get to. So fight the power word, Elijah. Assalamu alaikum. So he says, my uncle, may Allah forgive him and grant him paradise. I mean, introduced me to a pick apart wreck car, um, lots when I was in college. I've never
Absolutely.
pick apart wreck lot cars. Hmm.
It was like they were like cars you would fix up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you just pick parts and to fix. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Well, you can get a car,
Hmm.
and car. All the cars we had when we were young. I true story. I'm not gonna lie. My first car was my grandfather's car.
Mm.
So when he passed away, my mother had it, and she gave it to me. Okay. Um, but a lot of times you would get cars and you would fix them up. Literally every car you got was almost like a fix them up car.
For sure.
So
For
what
sure.
I do is the pick apart wreck car lots. It's
Yeah.
sort of what I'm talking about going in Baltimore to Crazy Rays, where you would take you literally Arby and I would take buckets of tools and you'd see the part that you needed for your car, and in the junkyard, you would take the part off the car and put it in the bucket.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Actually, Arby would put his tools over the part so he didn't have to pay.
Tell me, Aubrey. Oh man. So Elijah continues, and he's in the process of sanding a dining table to restain it. Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely. Sister Naima has a comment here. She says, all the people that could teach those skills have passed away. And same people say, why would I do it when I can pay someone else to do it? That's so true. It's like it's the balance of time versus
I'm
if I can
guilty.
pay them. Yeah.
I'm guilty because I see the grass grow, and I could cut it. I used to cut it. I could cut it, but I'm like opportunity cost.
Right, right,
I
absolutely.
have cutting on grass and my allergies. Hey man, you do it. Yeah, it that is something also about opportunity cost.
Yeah, yeah. Elijah says pick apart is where you go to get parts from cars that were wrecked, and he agrees with you. Yes,
Crazy
Sister
Ray.
Sister Ravina. Okay, she said in our house, we were taught how to fix everything, even though we were all girls. Nor can until we um,
A car until we learn how to change the wheel, jump start, measure oil, water, know where it stops. was topped up, which is imperative when driving British vintage sports cars. Even at home, we knew how to fix the Victorian sash, windows, Welsh roof tiles, electric, gas water, as this is important for everyday living. Yeah, yeah. I learned. I just a couple years back. I busted my cousin's vacuum cleaner.
Hmm.
I messed up.
You need
Hold
to
on.
step in. Yeah, step into the light.
There you go.
There
But
you
I,
go.
I, I busted my cousin's vacuum cleaner, and
Mhm.
I called him. I was like, I'm gonna fix it. He goes, where you gonna get it fixed at? I said, no, I'm going to fix it. And he's like, please just take it somewhere else to get fixed.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Eh,
fixed it. I was like, dude, I'm notorious. I don't know if my dad's
yeah.
watching. I busted the speaker downstairs, blew it out, but I went and got another woofer and put it back together. Because remember, we used some Elijah might know we used to put together our own sound systems.
Sure, like the old. Yeah, oh, absolutely,
There was always a
absolutely.
kid in the neighborhood when you got
Hmm.
a stereo, he can help you put your stereo together.
Sure,
This,
absolutely.
this is before they had stereo places. You would buy it, but there was a guy who knew how to put it
Put it
together.
together. Absolutely, absolutely,
And
for sure, for
we missed
sure.
it.
Yeah, and I think the older technology, I think that it was simpler to go in and understand it. You just unscrew it and kind of figured it out. Right now, because of the chips and because of this and the way it's packaged and the way it's so efficiently built, I think I took an old phone apart versus taking a new phone apart, and I'm like, you can't even get to some of the um, equipment in the phone because it's so evenly placed. And then to put it back, you need to put it back correctly so it fits
So
right and works. Yeah.
I had a,
So
I had a situation where I was going to change the oil on this car. I wasn't going to take it to the dealer because I think the dealers are the devil. And I got the oil I needed. I got the filter I needed, um, oil, filter, all of that. And jacked the car up because, your boy has a jack in the garage.
yeah, yeah,
And jumped under there and couldn't do a darn thing. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I literally, and you can't get it from the top of the car. It's all closed in. You're just
yeah,
looking at the top of the car.
yeah, yeah,
Literally. I had a mechanic. He was like, we have a special thing to remove the cap. I'm like, to
mhm,
remove the cap? I
yeah,
was like, this is ridiculous.
yeah. So it
Put
doesn't even allow you to be a weekend warrior. This new
but I
technology.
did this, and I know we're over, but
Yeah.
really what I think is what I said early on is like, we don't have people that fix things anymore because we don't have people that make anything anymore.
Mm, mm,
Whole aspect of craftsmanship and da 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 and apprenticeship. People before you had like apprenticeships and stuff like that.
mm,
Plumbers learn plumbing from people who did plumbing.
mhm,
And before you had to get bonded and you learn electricity and stuff like that. But I'm like, these were, I want to say, very noble and very profitable professions.
absolutely.
So I mean, well, I guess we can carry on, but I just want to touch base on it. Throwback
Yeah.
Thursday for all you people who still know how to fix stuff. God bless you.
God bless you.
And for those who don't know how to fix stuff, call the people that know how to fix stuff. Learn something.
Oh
All right.
man. Well, before I sign off, just want to make sure that just a reminder to everyone, we go live from Monday to Thursday, and then we are back again on Monday. So we take the weekend off from going live. So just a reminder that we will not be here live at 6 p.m. Eastern time for Thursday, actually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Because we want to give you some time off to go fix things.
There
All
you
right.
go.
So
All
let's go
right.
ahead and give our sponsors. We want to give a shout out to, of course, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Go check them out. If you don't want to go to the website, you want a live voice, doggone it, call 1-888-496-6845. Again, that's 1-888-496-6845. Now, if you're interested in getting a quality Islamic graduate education, you have to check out, you have to go to the website of Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School, offering courses in Islamic education, Islamic studies and leadership, and of course, the premier program, essentially The Muslim Chaplaincy Program, one of the top programs in the country, if not the world. Check them out. Go to bandonline.org, and that's bandonline.org. Listen, that is our show. You guys have been amazing. Appreciate you. Go fix something. Don't worry about the opportunity cost. Take something apart, put it back together again. Or take something apart, can't put it back together, and get somebody that can help you put it back together. Or just buy something new. I'm Preacher Moss. This is the Shout Out Show. God bless you. We'll see you on Monday. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. SOS. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, team, we've come to the end of yet another show. And I have to say, I had a good time, and I hope that you had a good time as well. Listen, at this part of the show, we have no more show. I could literally sing a song saying we have no more show. However, to spare all of us that embarrassment and chaos, I'm just going to say, please join us tomorrow here on the Shout Out Show, Monday through Thursdays, and every first Saturday, we do our Saturday Spotlight. Here we are again, 5 to 5:30 on the Central Time. And of course, we're going to do our rebroadcast at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock p.m. And of course, that would be 6 o'clock on the West Coast. So, time for you to go, because it's time for me to go. I think I will do that song. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for coming to the show. That's all the lyrics I wrote. But you get the idea. See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. Shout out.